Welcome into the EMA Online Video Fast Break. Mason Both, Alec Bussey here with you from Shawmeyer Arena, hanging out with the winner, Jamie Dixon, as the Horned Frogs come away with an 82-68 victory on Saturday. K-State, early on, it looked like both teams were maybe going to have to kind of grind out poor offense, bad decisions, and the defense was good at first, but then for K-State, there really is no defense for turnovers and fast break points, which is something that Jerome Tang mentioned. They end up giving up 26 points off of turnovers, 32 fast break points, 20 turnovers in total for the Wildcats, and then another killer for them. They end up giving up over 50 points in the paint tonight. So a lot of things to digest that went wrong for K-State.
Yeah, and Mason, I think a lot of those things are really tied together, right? Like points off turnovers is often kind of come out layups and fast break points. So I think a lot of those are tied together. But at the same time, it's really tough when you're turning the ball over that many times. And Marquise and Will have been playing at an unbelievable level, and level that we haven't seen from a Division I basketball player in the last 25 years. So was regression expected at some point? Yeah, absolutely. But you can't have him regress to the level that he did today. Inefficient scoring. I think he had 6 turnovers. Seven turnovers, which is obviously a season high for him. Keontae Johnson, I know, had 6 or 7 turnovers as well. So those are things that K-State can't have from their 2 best players, because I don't think the rest of their roster right now is in a place to be able to compete with a really good team in the Big 12 like TCU. Now, if those 2 players are at a high level, we've seen them be able to go on the road and beat a really good Texas team. We've seen them go on the road and beat a Baylor team who I don't think we're completely out on yet, but those are good teams. So they need their 2 best players to play really well if they're going to have an opportunity against the best teams in the Big 12. And like Jamie Dixon said, it's the best conference in America without a doubt. So it's going to get tough, and it only gets tougher on Tuesday against Kansas.
One of the things that makes this conference so great, according to Keontae Johnson after the game, was that you're going to get to play TCU again. You play everybody twice. So it seems like the Wildcats are handling this loss well, at least early on, from a mental aspect, where Jerome Tang has told them, hey, flush it. We've won 4 Big 12 games. It's only our 2nd loss of the season. You don't need to worry and panic about one loss, which I do think is an important message. But there are certainly some things that K-State needs to focus on. Physicality inside is a big problem. I'm going to hit somebody if they don't figure out this beeping sound. But physicality inside is a real problem for K-State, because we saw this man, Eddie Lampkin, pound him inside today, and K-State really didn't have an answer defensively. It hurts that David Gason's not there, but Bebe Ishiola isn't quite ready to defend in the post, and then Ish Massoud and Naquan Tomlin, who are your other options there, their post defense leaves a lot to be desired. Even though Tomlin can defend well at times, in the post isn't where he can do it. It's his athleticism that needs to help make plays at the rim and on the perimeter. So K-State does have to worry about that a little.
Yeah, and I think one thing working to their advantage in the Big 12 is that if there's one spot in the league that maybe isn't as great as the others, it is front court play. Like Texas is the team that has the best front court, in my opinion, with guys like Christian Bishop and guys like Dylan Disu. West Virginia has some solid front court play with a guy like Trey Mitchell, but he's been a little bit inconsistent throughout his entire career. Even Kansas, a program that has been known for having elite big men, whether that's a guy like Joel Embiid for just 1 season, you know, guys like Azubuike, David McCormick, Mitch Lightfoot, all names that I think K-State fans love to hate.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, those guys aren't there anymore. It's KJ Adams, who's 6'7", 6'8", and it's a league that likes to play smaller, likes to play a little bit more modern. It's not like the Big Ten or the SEC at times, where there's these big, intimidating bigs. And I think that works well for K-State, and I think it's something that should bode well for them in the tournament, as long as their 2 best guards are able to play well.
And, I mean, to that thought, like, K-State didn't shoot the ball well today. They were under 29% from 3, so they don't have the scoring boost to make up for the lack of bigs and size. And that may make TCU their biggest challenge when it comes to game planning and knowing going into it what you got. Obviously, Kansas is the biggest challenge in this league because they've got the most talent. They're the best team. They're number 2 in the country. But it does feel like K-State matches up better with them than TCU, because Jalen Wilson is big, but he's more athletic. He's going to play everywhere. He's kind of more of that Naquan Tomlin.
He's like a wing.
He's like a wing, where KJ Adams is really the true big on that team, but even he likes to play a little bit more athletic at times. So and that's not any of us saying that K-State is going to win against KU or whatever, and that KU is easier than TCU. But for what K-State has, especially on a night where they struggle shooting the ball and live ball turnovers happen left and right, it's going to make it really tough for them to get back into it. So K-State has flushed it. We will flush it, and we'll move on. Kansas is up next on Tuesday, Sunflower Showdown Part 1 inside of Bramlage. Alec and I will have more coverage throughout the day and the week on EMA Online, and we will have a podcast previewing the Sunflower Showdown and talking a little bit more about what happened in Fort Worth, what went wrong come Monday for everybody. So that'll do it for us from Shellmeyer Arena. For Alec, I'm Mason, and we'll see you over on EMA Online.